All right, let's do this. Happy Sunday, Daylight Saving Sunday, March 9th, 2025, 7:48 p.m. You're probably watching this on the 10th or later. Supposed to be eating a burger right now, but instead I am talking to you. My burger plans were canceled tonight. I was supposed to go to the West Village with my Irish friend and get a sardine burger from this place. And I'd been kind of dreaming about this sardine burger for the past week. And a lot of people may be thinking a sardine burger sounds very, very disgusting. I may agree with you now, but I think the allure of a sardine burger was so kind of, I don't know, it was so enticing. The idea of that like tangy fishiness of the sardine mixing with the burger. I'd heard good things about the sardine burger, so I was very much looking forward to the sardine burger. So plans got canceled. No big deal. I will see this friend again, hopefully. But bigger deal, I looked on the menu afterwards. I was like dreaming about the sardine burger. How can I get there? How can I get this burger today? And I found out the sardine burger had nothing to do with the actual burger. It had to do with the producer. It was like from an organization, not an organization, from like an affiliate kitchen, or like, I guess like a partner cook whose name had something to do with sardines. And the burger itself just was potatoes and onions. So I think kind of looking back on it now, the idea of a sardine burger was a lot more attractive in my head than the idea of actually biting in, and like the mix of beef and sardines does not sound like a very good combo. A couple anecdotes I wanted to share from the past couple of weeks, I guess one per week. The first one I wanted to talk about was the subway interaction I had the other day. I wanted to go to the Father John Misty concert, really putting myself in a group there in Brooklyn a couple weeks ago. It was a little too expensive. General admission ended up being like almost $200 after fees. And it was after work. I was going to have to find my way over there. Decided not to do it. But next day on the subway, I am like a chronic subway phone looker, which I know is a serious faux pas, but I do it anyway. I'm always looking at people's phones. A couple weeks ago, I was watching this guy kind of like swipe through Grindr and thinking to myself, like, dude, you could do so much better. I think everyone looks at other people's phones on the subway, and if they don't, let me know now. But I don't know. I think it's hard not to. It's just so interesting to get into everyone else's business. But I was looking at this guy's phone. And he was listening to Father John Misty. And so I was like, I'm feeling a little bold this morning. Let's tap on his shoulder. Let's ask him if he was at that concert last night. And so I tap on his shoulder. He's not facing me. Terrible thing to do on the subway. I tap him on the shoulder. He turns around and he goes, like, what's up? Like, why are you tapping me, you crazy weirdo? And I go, oh, you're listening to Father John Misty. Were you at the concert last night? He kind of has one AirPod in still. And he's like, what? I was like, were you at that concert last night? And he says, yes, I was at the concert last night. But he said it as if he was saying no. So he kind of goes like, yes. He just gives me this one word, yes. And I kind of panicked. I was like, well, he went to the concert. He doesn't seem very excited that I'm talking to him about the concert. So how do you respond to something like that? And I just look him dead in the eyes and I go, oh, yeah, me too. It was a great concert. And he just kind of looks at me, puts his AirPod back in, and gets off on the next stop. Immediately after he gets off the stop, there was a woman right next to us, and she had been watching the whole interaction. So she takes her AirPods off, and she looks over and says, was he famous? And I said, no, I don't think so. We went to the same concert last night. And so now not only have I lied to this man, but I've also lied to this woman about this very banal thing that I didn't need to lie about. So now they think I've both gone to this concert. They're probably still thinking about that. And she goes, oh, he looked so familiar. I could have sworn he was famous. And I said, no, but I just made a complete idiot of myself. And I put my AirPods back in, and she put her AirPods back in, and we continued on with our days. I think back on that interaction, and part of me is like, you probably shouldn't have tapped the guy on the shoulder. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, if someone had done the same thing to me, I would have been appreciative. I would have been like, oh, they're noticing me. They're looking at my phone. They're looking at what I'm doing. They're always watching my phone. And they want to engage over this concert that they supposedly went to. They actually didn't, but in theory, they could have gone to that concert. Yeah, that's my first anecdote. My second anecdote was on the street. I was taking a walk the other day, and there was a blind girl, probably around 10, 12 years old, and her father, and they were walking together. And the girl was like clearly in a slumped over mood, and you could tell the dad was a little bit frustrated, and he was being a little bit firm with the girl, and he kind of goes like, hey, you need to pay attention, you need to keep your head up, what street are we on right now? And my initial reaction was kind of like, oh, what an asshole. He's being a real asshole to his disabled daughter. Like, God, this guy needs to get a grip. He needs to like figure it out. And then I had a second thought, which was like, I think being the father of a blind daughter, you're very worried about these kinds of things, and he needs to get ready for when he's not involved in that walking to school process every day, and she's doing it on her own. And so he's like, you're not paying attention. What street are we on right now? And he was fully expecting her to get it wrong. And she looks up and she's like, absolutely right, absolutely destroyed. And I'm like, dude, fuck yeah, girl. Not like that. I'm like, that's awesome. Good for you. Way to show dad who's boss. Oh man, this pod is not going the way that I wanted it to go. Daylight savings time is amongst us, upon us. Who am I to think that I can just turn on the camera and not prepare at all and just write down 5 bullet points? 106.22222. You didn't think they could end in even numbers, but now they can. I was out last night when the daylight saving switch occurred, and I've never been out before when the daylight saving switch occurred, and this was the first time that I'd been out when the daylight saving switch occurred. Oh my God. Self-absorbed, narcissistic. Radio Now. This is Radio Now. You're listening to Radio. Specifically, the one where we lose the hour. All right, let's try it again. YouTube almost deleted my channel last week. There was something that they perceived to be a credible threat towards a politician in the video, which was just a reference to the 1972, sometime around there, film Taxi Driver. I've officially now talked about Taxi Driver in both videos. And so like I woke up at 2 a.m. and checked my phone and basically seen that YouTube had given me a content strike and taken down the channel before it even began. But like a phoenix, it rose from the ashes. And I put in a request and basically said, I'm so sorry. I was making a reference to the 1972-ish film Taxi Driver starring Robert De Niro, who for the first time today I saw referred to as Bob De Niro, which was a little bit disturbing. I went to Bradley Cooper's new cheesesteak place right near my apartment. And I'm not a huge cheesesteak guy. I think I've established that today. Maybe my first cheesesteak ever. I think I had a bite of one time. But I think Cooper's doing a good thing with the cheesesteak business. I think he may have a future in it. I was a little bit worried that it was going to be frou-frou, like this guy, he's coming into the cheesesteak business. Who the hell is he to tell us what a good cheesesteak is? But he's from Philly. He's working with like talented people. So good for Bradley Cooper. I know he's waiting for my seal of approval. So I can officially say I give Bradley Cooper the permission to continue making these cheesesteaks. What else is going on? A little bit worried. You may tell I'm a little bit kind of in my head today, hard on myself. What's new? But I was worried. I had this very funny conversation with one of my good friends, Dylan, earlier today. Shout out, Dylan. And in that conversation, we were just kind of riffing for hours and hours. Just some of our funniest bits ever. We're doing callbacks. We're kind of elevating the jokes. It just kind of exactly what you'd expect to improv people's phone conversation to be like. And at the end of the conversation, I was like, this was the most enjoyable, fun conversation I've ever had. And I'm exceptionally worried that I've used up all my funny juice for the day. So bear with me. I'm not sure if I'm going to be the juiciest funny lemon today. I think it's good to get in the habit of posting this, even though it's going to be like a very wallowy, self-deprecating, sad thing. I'm going to slice some stuff from take one as well. But with that, enjoy your week. Hope this wasn't too much of a downer. Maybe next week we'll come back and recoup and try to have a little bit more of a positive conversation. Have a good week.